We can hear you. I'm
Yes,
speaking
we
on your
can.
behalf.
You can.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, we can hear you.
So the cover letter actually, okay, thank you. So my name is Kenny. I'm the founder of the Rally Firm. The Rally Firm is an organization, a consulting firm that is also into capacity building. I've worked in the bank for over 10 years, worked in the pension industry for about 3 years. So I've had experience in the financial industry. So basically today I'll be talking about the cover letter. The cover letter, like the name implies, is it covers your CV. It's a letter that basically tells your story, tells the employer why you want the job and the specific skills you're going to bring in. So it's not a document that it shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be a letter that repeats what you have in your CV, because the cover letter introduces you and encourages the employer to take a look at your CV and then possibly invite you for an interview. So the cover letter shows you as a unique person. What the cover letter does is to show you as a unique person, to show why you are qualified for the job. So let's quickly look at the basic, the key features of a cover letter. The first thing you want to know is that because employers read a lot of applications, you need to keep your cover letter short and as clear as possible. You need to express it briefly. One of the key principles in writing is you need to be clear, be sure of what you want to say and say it. People don't want to have to think about what are you trying to say. So if you want to say something, just say it and don't make the sentence complicated. So that's what it means to be clear. The cover letter has to be clear and succinct. Now you need to individualize the letter. Most people, there are so many templates online where you can get a template to write your cover letter. But you need to understand that each cover letter needs to be aligned with the job that you're applying for. So you need to specifically address the letter to the person that was stated in the advert. I know that in Nigeria, most advertisements for jobs usually don't have the name of a specific person to address your cover letter to. But if you can do a little research. If you know someone that works there, if there's any way you can get the information on who the letter should be addressed to, it will help your application. Studies have shown that people who address their cover letters to a specific individual in an organization have more chances of being invited for an interview. So you don't want to just pick up a template from a website and just change your name and address and then send it out, even if it's a sample cover letter that is in line with the kind of job you want to apply for. So that's basically what it means to individualize your letter. Then you need to show interest from the beginning, show why you want to work for that organization. Like I said in the beginning, the cover letter is a story about you, why you want to apply, and the specific skills you want to bring in. So companies are basically looking for how you connect with them. They want to know if you can fit into the organization. They want to know that you're the kind of person that every organization has a culture. So they want to know that you fit into their culture. You know about their products, their very beginning, showing why. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just saw a message on my screen. Okay, so you need to show interest for the job that you're applying for. If you have done a research on the company, you probably want to say something like, I was excited when I saw this advertisement on head of customer service of Guarantee Trust Bank. Your mobile banking app shows customers that Guarantee Trust Bank is interested in showing customers how technology consistently improves their lives. Just mention something that you know about the company, and that keeps the employer, that makes the employer interested in reading further. So if your CV, if you have anything in your CV that maybe you have a gap in your CV, you have a gap in your CV, like you haven't worked for a long time, your cover letter is an opportunity for you to clear up that problem. Maybe you've been out of work for a year. Maybe you work for an organization that has branches, and one of the branches were closed. So you want to clear up that area so that the employer does not look at it like you've not been working for a long time, and so you don't have any skills to offer. So you probably want to say something like, if you notice, I'm just giving an example here. If you notice, I've been out of employment for maybe 6 months or 1 year. The organization I worked for closed the branch that I worked with due to financial reasons, and it was sad for me to leave, but I'm happy about the experience that I gained, and this is how I can show you the experiences. This is how I can put the experiences that I've gained. Then you go ahead to list what you've done, and how your experiences fit into the organization. So in the cover letter, you need to sell yourself. Basically, like I said, the third point, I mentioned 3 things in the beginning, is an opportunity for you to show why you're interested in the organization, and the specific skills you want to bring in. So when you're writing the cover letter, you want to match your skills with the job description. So the best way to do it is you need to read the job description and then identify your skills, and then give specific examples of how your skill fits the job description. For instance, if it's a customer service role, you want to give a specific example about how you helped a customer solve a problem. So in doing that, you sell yourself. In doing that, you give examples. You don't also want to flatter the organization by saying things that you want to work for them because they are the best. And you don't also want to repeat all the things that are in your CV, because the cover letter is a summary of everything that is in your CV. The only difference is that it just gives the employer more details, a story about yourself and how you can fit in. Then you need to make sure that your spellings are correct, the grammar is correct, and like I said, you also provide reason why you are applying. Okay. So the cover letter has 3 structures, 3 basic structures. It can be more, but it should have 3 basic parts, and it's a guide so that you don't waste your time doing a lot of talking in your cover letter, because the employer needs to move on and read the next person's letter. So the first structure is what we call the opening attention grabber. If you notice, when people make public speeches, they don't just come up and start talking about the topic. They might start with a story, or just something to get the attention of the person that is reading your document. So like I said in the beginning, you have to address to a specific person. You explain while you're writing the cover letter, why you want to work for the organization, why you fit in, and you need to be positive and interested. Like giving an example of, I gave an example of talking about the mobile banking app and how it has improved, how the technology has improved the life of customers. It draws the attention of the employer, it draws the attention of the reader, and it makes the person want to read further. So in the middle of the letter, you need to consider what the organization is looking for. They are hiring because there's a need that needs to be filled. They are hiring because there's a problem that needs to be solved. So you basically need to look at the job description, list out all the requirements of the job, then list out all your skills and give specific examples of how your skills matches the description. That's what it means by considering what they are looking for and explaining how you will benefit from them, and then promote your skills and achievement. This basically means giving specific examples of how your skills fit. And then the third structure, the third part of your cover letter is to invite them to read your CV. So the cover letter, you don't need to begin to, since it's a different document that tells your story, and then you don't need to repeat everything that is already in your CV. So basically, that is what a cover letter is all about. In the workbook that will be provided to you, you will get examples of, specific examples of how to match your skills with the job requirements. And then in closing, you suggest a response. Politely and confidently tell them that you're looking forward to being invited to speak with them in person for an interview. You don't want to say something like, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, or being arrogant. You politely suggest a response. So that's basically what writing a cover letter is all about. It's a story about you, and it's a letter about your story, a letter that summarizes who you are, why you fit into the company. The company, it's about the company, it's not about you. You tell a story about how you fit into the company. So you want to be using words like you and your company. So all that you'll be writing about is not about, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. You talk about how you will benefit the company and the specific skills you're going to bring in. That's basically what it's all about. Ify, I think I'm done here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Thank you. Thank you for that insightful, I hope you can all hear me. Thank you for that insightful presentation. If you can take down your screen, okay. Thank you. I think there's a lot of key takeaways from her presentation, but bear with us a moment. I want someone to say a few words. Tolu, you're here? Tolu is a HR expert. She's a business partner and HR partner with the Keystone Bank, and she's done quite a bit in terms of recruitment and screening CVs and cover letters. So Tolu, if you can just take a few minutes to make sort of general remarks and probably address one or two other things I've chatted you on the side about. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm sure you've heard a lot, from Ify and Kenneth. They've pretty much, said it all. Like Ify mentioned, proofreading cannot be overemphasized. It's very, very important. When a recruiter or an HR person looks at your CV and you have spelling errors and grammar errors, it's a total put off. They would not even if the rest of your CV or your cover letter makes a lot of sense, the first line, your name, how you address the letter, how you introduce yourself in your personal profile, if it's not if you don't proofread, if it doesn't have the right structure, they may not want to read any further. So like if you mentioned, it takes you about 6 to 7 seconds to really just decide on if this candidate is, you know, the right person for us or not. So there's a website called Grammarly. I'm sure you can note this down. I'm sure a lot of you are probably familiar with this. It helps, you know, it corrects spelling errors and grammar errors. You can run your CV and your cover letter through Grammarly. It helps a whole lot. Like Kene mentioned about matching your skills to your skills to the job description, very, very key. I'll advise that, you know, take time for yourself and design a skills matrix for yourself. You know, write down the list of things that you know you're really good at. You know, if you talked about transferable skills and, you know, marketable skills, you know, if it's communication, if it's leadership, you know, list everything out and, you know, list out your competencies and maybe your interest in those areas. If you have to rate yourself on it, and maybe highlight some areas that you may need, that you're probably working on or you need to develop. You know, with your cover letter, opening statements is key, like I mentioned earlier. So also do your homework about the firm that you're applying to. Go beyond the first page on their website, which just states their vision, their mission, and their goals. Find out about their publications, their current projects, maybe the projects that they're currently working on. You know, go the extra mile that will keep you ahead of your competition. That will let them know that you're very intentional about the role. And I think that's pretty much it. I think everything else has been addressed. So I think just take time, read the application instructions. It's key because when an HR person or a recruiter is looking through, you know, your CV or your cover letter, they want to see that you can even, you know, obey the application instructions that were given to you. They may tell you in the subject of the email, you know, write out your name and maybe the role. Some of them give like a job ID for a particular role. You know, follow the instructions, read it carefully to understand exactly what they want, and it will guide you, you know, on, you know, how you're going to submit your CV and your cover letter. Thank you.
Let me unmute myself. Thank you so much, Tolu, for you know the comments that you made and just telling us. I think we've all learned about the Grammarly. I think most people, I don't think a lot of people know about Grammarly, so you can